Hey everybody, it's attorney Shannon Davis with Davis Legal. Today we're going to talk about what to do after a car accident. I know a car accident can be really scary, but there are some things you can do. And included with this video, if you go to the website, there's actually a downloadable checklist that you can keep in your house or in your car. Step number 1 is check yourself and any passengers for injuries. Always check yourself first to make sure you're okay. Then check your passengers, especially minor children. This is the number 1 step because it's the most important. Without you being okay, the rest will only come later. Step number 2, call the police. They'll be able to get there more promptly and they'll be able to assess the injuries as well. They'll be able to get witness statements and get all the information on the insurances and things like that. When you do call, ask the dispatcher if you should move your vehicles. Explain the situation, and they should be able to direct you whether you should keep the vehicles in the location they are or if they should be moved. Sometimes they need to be kept where they are because the vehicles are disabled. However, sometimes they need to be moved to the side of the road. When the police get the report, try to include as much detail as possible as well. This will help you determine what steps to take next. Step number 3, take pictures of the accident. If it is not safe to take pictures, please don't use this step. Do not worry about taking pictures if your safety is in jeopardy. If it's not, and the cars or vehicles haven't been moved, go ahead and take quick shots of where the vehicles are, the damage, things like that. If you do move your vehicles, take damage pictures. Step number 4, move vehicles to the side of the road. Again, if the police officers or the dispatchers are telling you not to move the vehicles or it's not safe, don't move the vehicles. But if it is, move them to the side of the road. That way there's no more accidents. Step number 5, go to the emergency room if necessary. Like I said earlier, the police will be able to determine if there's severity. They'll most likely ask you, do you want to go? Now, an important fact is a minor child involved. If a minor child is involved, then it's probably safer to go to the emergency room than not. Minor children cannot express like adults can. And again, better safe than sorry. If the police suggest that you go to the ER, you should probably do it. They've seen this a couple times. They know what it looks like. And then finally, if you're not really sure if you should go to the emergency room, you're feeling okay, but maybe a couple hours later, after you've calmed down, the adrenaline has left your system, go to your primary care physician or the emergency room or the urgent care if you're still in a lot of pain. Step number 6, find out where your car is being towed. The reason this is kind of important is because, well, it's your vehicle. And it's going to help with property damage and things like that later on. If you have to search for hours and hours to find where your car was towed to, it could cause an issue. And the final step, step number 7, immediately after a car accident, I would suggest write a brief summary of what happened. Obviously, this is after things are safe, you're physically okay. That is the key. Make sure there's no physical danger while you're doing this. I suggest quickly pulling out a piece of paper, writing how the accident happened, what you experienced, what you felt. Our memories are much better right after an accident than several months later. Now that it's a week after the car accident, you may be wondering what your steps should be. Number 1, reevaluate yourself for injuries. Some injuries do not present themselves until several weeks later, up to 2 weeks. It is important that you reevaluate what your body and your mind feels. I suggest keeping a journal of all your symptoms and all your pains and all your aches, things like anxiety, depression, or maybe a fear of driving. Keep it in a journal. That way you know if things are getting worse or better. And if you do start noticing more things popping up, I would highly suggest either go to the emergency room or primary care physician. Step number 2, get the police report. Sometimes the police reports come out pretty quick. Other times you may actually have to go get it. The police report will be at the agency, usually the county, sometimes the city, in which the accident happened. So what I suggest is Googling where to find a police report in such and such county or such and such city. That way it easily gives you the number and you can find it. The police report will have information that you're going to need. It's going to have who the other driver was, what their insurance information is, and how to get in contact with their insurance. Then number 4, once you've got all that information from the police report and the insurance information, if you are not at fault, go ahead and file an insurance claim with the at-fault insurance. The police report again should have all that information, so you can go ahead and start a claim. Many times, if you are not the one at fault, the at-fault insurance will cover medical bills, lost wages, property damage, and other types of compensation. So the last step, step 4, 1 week after the accident, what should you do? Start the process of getting your vehicle or property fixed, if it's not totaled. The insurance company usually takes care of this. They may have a person they want you to see, and that's perfectly fine. However, I do suggest that you go ahead and get your own estimates of what the damage is and what the cost would be. That way you can be in a good negotiating position if maybe the insurance is not wanting to cover as much as you would like. Finally, it's 1 month after your car accident. It's long gone in your memory to an extent. So what are the things you should do? Number 1, follow your doctor's orders if you're being treated. Even though the wreck is behind you, you still need to make sure that you're healing properly. And number 2, evaluate your symptoms. Continue to evaluate. Some things do take longer. PTSD, for example, takes some time to manifest. So continue to evaluate. And finally, after all this is said and done, you want to make sure that you're getting properly taken care of. Not just your physical body, but your mental well-being, that things are getting paid for, and that you know how to be safe and continue this claim, per se, in the future. I hope you have a great day, and I hope the checklist helps you. Thank you.